Good morning, all of you. In today's class, we will discuss about absolute continuity. You know that there is some view about the absolute continuity. Is it a function of a function or a measure? These are some common things you are some awareness you need. That's why yesterday you seen some of the videos related to absolute continuity. Here, what is the basic idea related to this absolute continuity means? There are two definitions of absolute continuity out there. One referred to an absolute continuous function and the other one is absolute continuous measure. These are the two important definitions. Sometimes in mathematics, a single word or a phrase gets recycled and adopts different meaning. You must care about the definitions. That's why take normal for instance. You have heard about the normal. In the group theory itself, you studied the normal subgroup. Exactly in the field theory and ring theory, normal field extension, normal vector to a surface, normal to a topological space. This is normal distribution. These are the list. Many things are coming into the picture. You already aware of this. This, however, is not the case with the absolute continuity. You must remember this. Although the definition of an absolute continuous function and absolutely continuous measures are different, they are intrinsically related to linked to the Lebesgue fundamental theorem of calculus. That is the main aim of this absolute continuity in Lebesgue measure. This is the definition of absolute continuous, like F mapping from an interval, closed interval to R. We say that absolutely continuous on closed interval A comma B if for all epsilon greater than 0, there exists some delta positive such that we can make a subdivision that is x1, y1, x2, y2, etc., x and yn in any finite collection of disjoint open intervals in the closed interval A comma B here, such that if summation I running from 1 to infinity yi minus xi is less than the chosen delta. We have that if you make a summation of I running from 1 to infinity mod f of xi minus f of yi or f of xi is minus f of xi is less than epsilon, when then we say that it is absolutely continuous. You can view a pictorial representation of this absolute continuous, and we say that the Lebesgue sense. What is the Lebesgue sense of absolute continuous function means? You already know this theorem we already established in the previous classes. A function f mapping from closed interval A comma B to R is absolutely continuous if and only if integral upon f dash d mu or d mu x to A is equal to f of x minus f of A for all x is in the closed interval A comma B, where the integral is a Lebesgue integral. This is the one in the Lebesgue sense we can discuss about the absolute continuous. This is the one important observation you must remember. If f is mapping from closed interval A comma B to R is absolutely continuous, means definitely then the function f is continuous. You must aware that the continuous functions are there. In that continuous function inside, those who are uniformly continuous function. Then in that absolutely continuous means continuous function means it is uniformly continuous, definitely, then definitely it is absolutely continuous function on the closed interval A comma B. If you are observing this itself, we say that absolute continuous means definitely it is continuous. Let us start today. We will start with the first definition, that f is a mapping from closed interval a comma b to r be a real valued function. We say that f is a absolutely continuous on closed interval a comma b. If for given epsilon positive, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that for any finite collection, that is xi dash to xi, of non-overlapping intervals with summation I running from 1 to n mod xi minus xi dash minus xi is less than delta, we have summation I running from 1 to n mod f of xi dash minus f of xi is less than epsilon. We already told and also informed that every absolute function is a continuous. Now we will prove one theorem. If f is an absolutely continuous function on a closed interval a comma b, then it is a bounded variation on closed interval a comma b. You already know the definition of bounded variation. What is bounded variation? First, we can make a division f of xi minus f of xi minus 1, the interval. Then you can make a sum. Then you can take a supremum of that, and then you get positive variation as well as negative variation. Then if you take the total variation, if integral upon f, the total variation of integral upon f is less than infinity, then we say that the function is a bounded variation. Here we can start with what is given. F is a bounded, absolutely continuous on closed interval a comma b. Let us take epsilon is equal to 1 is at some small number and choose delta corresponding to this epsilon 1 in the definition of absolute continuity. Then the subdivision a comma b can be split in by inserting fresh division points into a number of sets that is denoted by a sets of interval. Each interval, the total length is less than delta, where k is a capital K is the largest integer, less than 1 plus that division, that is b minus a divided by delta form. Suppose this any subdivision of closed interval, we can take that is small t less than or equal to capital K. Then if you, because it is a totality will be there, that's why we can take it is positive total in that is t is less than or equal to k. If we make a supremum of this t of all the subdivision of the closed interval a comma b, we get t is less than or equal to k. K is a finite, then definitely this is finite means that whatever we assume capital T is less than or equal to k means it is a bounded variation, means f is a bounded variation on closed interval a comma b. There one more theorem, if f is absolutely continuous on closed interval a comma b and f dash x is equal to the first derivative of that function is 0 almost everywhere, then the function itself a constant. First, it is given that f is absolutely continuous as well as f dash x is equal to 0, then f is a constant we want to prove. For any c, because if you take an interval, there is a many points in the intermediate theorem, we can say that there is some point c lies in the interval. We show that f of c is equal to f of a, then definitely there is a e contained in a comma b, the set e is contained in a comma c, be the set of measure c minus a, in which the f dash x is equal, because it is given f dash x is equal to 0, because dash x is equal to 0 means you know that unique tangent. Let epsilon and eta be any arbitrary positive integers we are chosen, then for each x, whatever we chosen from this x in the set E, there is a arbitrary small interval that is x to x plus h. That is also lying in the interval a comma b. You know that in the interval, suppose if you take here a comma b, because here the function, it is lying in this interval, definitely we say that our here there is some point will be C, then this set x is in the belongs to E, there is an arbitrary interval because each length will be there. Suppose here x will be there, means x plus h will be the next interval, next point with respect to increment. Then definitely this is contained in C such that mod of f of x plus h minus f of x is less than eta times the h. You know that if it is a covering from the interval, we have a Vitali covering lemma, we can find a finite collection xk comma yk of a non-overlapping intervals of this kind, which also covers the entire E here, then except the set of measure is less than delta, where definitely the delta is a positive number corresponding to that epsilon. By the definition of absolute continuity, definitely it is xk is less than or equal to xk plus 1. That can be labeled as xk, so that xk is less than or equal to xk, that is the next point. Then we have we can make an interval y naught is equal to a less than or equal to x1 less than or equal to y1, etc. up to a to c. In between there are many points. It is y naught is equal to a. We can make c is equal to xn plus 1. Definitely, if you make a sum of that, k running from 0 to n, mod xk plus 1 minus yk is less than delta by using absolute continuous. Because the function is absolute continuous, then we can utilize this theorem. Now we can consider summation k running from 0 to n, mod f of yk minus f of xk is less than or equal to eta times, because it is bounded to eta, then yk minus xk. Then definitely this is c minus a, the interval length, that is c minus eta times c minus a. By the way the interval xk and yk were constructed, then summation k running from n to 0 to n is a xk plus 1 minus yk is less than epsilon by the definition of absolute continuity. Therefore, we can make mod f of c minus f of k can be written as summation k running from 0 to n. This can be written as f of xk plus 1 minus yk minus 1 minus plus yk minus f of yk minus 1. Then definitely it is less than or equal to epsilon plus eta times c. B minus a is there, then c minus a is here, b minus a, then it is the interval length, because the closed interval is e to b. Since epsilon and eta are arbitrary function, definitely these things become 0. Then mod of f of c minus f of a is equal to 0 means definitely f of c is equal to f of a. Hence, f of c is equal, that is the thing we want to prove, means f is a constant function. Now we will prove one more theorem. A function f is an indefinite integral if and only if it is a absolutely continuous. You know the definition of indefinite integral? Then you can, using that indefinite integral, we prove that it is absolutely continuous, both necessary and sufficient condition. We know that indefinite integral is a absolute continuous. We already proved this is Lebesgue convergence theorem. The first part is proved by using Lebesgue convergence theorem. Means indefinite integral is absolutely continuous. You can prove that part, the first part. In the second part, let f be an absolute continuous. Then in the previous theorem, we already proved that f is a bounded variation on closed interval a comma b. And also you know that by difference of two real valued monotonic functions are continuous and absolutely continuous. Therefore, we can write two real valued function as capital F of x is equal to f1x minus f2x for every x is in closed interval a comma b. Here we say that here f1 and f2 are monotonically increasing function. If it is monotonically increasing function, since the derivatives exist, means this become f1 dash x and f2 dash x exist almost everywhere. If it is almost everywhere, means definitely these two are the first derivative exist, means definitely the difference of two derivative is again a derivative function. Then we say that this is also f dash x is exist almost everywhere, and also we can make that as if you take a modulus of this, mod of f dash x is less than or equal to mod f1x plus f1 dash x plus mod f2 dash x. Then we get, if you are applying the integral with respect to a closed interval a comma b, then this become mod f dash x is less than or equal to, this become f1b plus f2b, sorry, f1b minus f1a, and this is f2b minus f2a. Is it correct? B minus a, the functional value by fundamental theorem of this Lebesgue function we already shown. Hence, this f dash x is integrable over closed interval a comma b. We can define some g of x is in the form of a to x f dash t into dt. Being an indefinite integral, then definitely g is absolutely continuous. Then we can make small f is equal to this capital F minus g is also absolutely continuous on closed interval a comma b. Then this f dash x become capital F dash x minus g dash x. These two become 0 because f dash x is equal to 0 almost everywhere on closed interval a comma b. By the theorem, previous theorem, we say that f is a constant, f dash x is equal to constant, and f is, the function is absolutely continuous, then the f is constant. Say f of x is equal to capital F of a, means suppose if you say f dash x is equal to capital F dash x, means small f of x is equal to capital F of a for every element x is in the interval a comma b. Then definitely this f can be represented as capital F minus g. Then capital F means if you're applying the functional values with respect to x, then this becomes f of x is equal to g of x plus small f of x. That is written. You know that this is same as integral upon g of x, means we are represented as a to x f dash t into dt plus the functional value of a in the interval, closed interval a comma b. That is the theorem. This means that this is an indefinite integral. You must remember this theorem. This is one of the important theorems for the examination point of view also. One more theorem, every absolutely continuous function is the indefinite integral of the derivative. This theorem we proved in the last class. Maybe you will remember that if be integrable on closed interval a comma b, then f of x is equal to integral upon a to x f of t dt plus f of a. Then we say that capital F dash t is f dash x is equal to small f of x for all x is in closed interval. Using that theorem, we shown that important theorem.